As more and more of our digital lives build up, we can end up with a complete mess of different file structures and naming conventions. And if you have ADHD like myself, this can mean losing hours and hours of time every single month simply trying to stay on top of the digital clutter. The good news is I think I found a near perfect organizational method that could save you and your ADHD brain a lot of time. So in this video, I'm going to break down what it is, how it works, 3 reasons why it could be perfect for us ADHDers, and 1 reason why it may not be. If you're new here, my name's Chris. I'm a creator with ADHD, and I help fellow busy brains learn the tools to finally get shit done. So ADHD massively impacts our organizational skills. It's part of the executive functions of our frontal lobe. And with ADHD, we can really struggle trying to figure out a good filing system that works for us. There's a million productivity YouTubers out there, and we can spend hours trying to find this perfect system, and it can be massively overwhelming. And I know because I've spent all that time myself trying to find that same system. However, I've come across one method recently which I think is actually going to change things up quite a lot. It's conceived by Tiago Forte, who is the guy that invented the second brain system. But this organizational system is actually called the para method. And from everything that I've seen so far and everything that I have started to utilize, it really seems like it's going to be a game changer in terms of trying to manage our organization with ADHD. So the para method is a system where everything, your notes, your files, your pictures, everything is organized into order of what's actionable. So it goes like this. The P stands for projects, which is what is happening right at this moment. Then there's areas, which is our areas of responsibility, like long term. So not something that is completable, but is something that's ongoing, but still actionable. Then there's resources, which is any of the information that you just want to store for the future. And then there's archives, which is basically everything from the previous 3 that is finished, complete, and no longer really relevant. So let's break it down. Projects are basically any sort of series of tasks linked to a goal with a deadline, something that takes multiple work sessions to complete. It has 2 things. 1 is a goal, 2 is a deadline. So this could be, for example, planning a birthday party, completing a work presentation by next Friday, organizing a garage sale for next month, planning a family vacation for summer. It's basically anything that has a completion point and a deadline. The second is areas, which is areas of ongoing activity without a specific end date. So it could be health and fitness goals. Could be managing the household, so finances, for example. Could be professional development, so taking courses and workshops and anything related to your career. Parenting, any ongoing tasks and responsibilities to raising the kids. The third one is resources, which is topics or resources of information for your reference, but you don't necessarily need to act on. For example, this could be collections of recipes, online courses that you have joined that you've bookmarked, reading lists, books that you want to read through, DIY tutorials, anything that you're not necessarily actioning right now, but you still want to have access to those resources. And then the final one is archives, which is anything from the above 3 that we're not actioning right now, but still worth storing for any future reference. So for example, your previous year's tax returns, any completed projects from the project section, old school coursework, photographs from your past trips, memories that you want to store. Whenever a project is inactive and it doesn't need to be deleted, it can just be archived. There's so much digital storage around nowadays that really we don't need to delete anything. And the good thing is that archiving it actually still saves it, so if you do ever need to reference it again, you have access to it and you know exactly where it is. And that's the essential file structure for everything. This works not just for your file storage, so if you have a to-do list, it's organized in exactly the same way. If you use Apple Notes, it's organized in exactly the same way. This is universal across all of your devices and all of your projects and all of your file systems. So why do I think that this is so good for people with ADHD? First of all, it's organized in a way where the most actionable thing is actually at the very top, at the very front of where you need to see it. So therefore, if you're in a hurry, your most active projects that need to be closest to you are going to be at the very top. So it's very simple and very quick to access. The next point I want to make is that visually, for people with ADHD, we can visually see how many projects we have going on at the same time. And that's very important for us because we can take on far too many projects, and that can lead to a lot of overwhelm and burnout. And we do this without thinking about it. The good thing is that if we're visually able to see all of the projects that we have ongoing, then we're able to be a lot stricter in what we do take on in the future and what we should probably offload into the archive for the moment. So if we have a very clear vision of how many projects are going on, we can actually get better at figuring out what we should be taking on and what we can just archive. So this is really key for people with ADHD. The next thing is that it's very simple. It's only one system that we need to learn regardless of whatever platform. We don't need to have multiple different filing systems and structures and ideas. We can just have one single system in every single area of our life, and it's very simple. So we don't have to overwork our working memory trying to remember which system does what and which filing structure we have to remember this time around. So Google Drive, Dropbox, Apple Notes, email, everything. It helps with our working memory, being able to know exactly where things are at a very quick glance. So it sounds like a perfect system, right? What's the catch? With any new organizational method, any new habit, it will take a lot of effort up front to move everything into the new system and get into the habit of making it stick. And this is really crucial to think about when you are moving from one organization system to the other, or picking up a new ADHD app or a new ADHD habit. It's really important to take a pause and ask yourself two questions. Is this something that I actually should commit and invest my time in learning and getting into a habit for the next few years? And the second question is, how much time will it realistically take me to transfer everything over? Because the last thing we want is to have another failed filing system that is just going to take up space on a hard drive. So if you do want to learn more about the PARA method, I highly recommend buying the book. So I'm going to link to it in the description down below. Definitely take the time to check it out. And if you want to learn even more tools that I work with all of my ultra normal members, if you want to be one of them and help build yourself a thriving ADHD life for yourself too, then make sure you join me on my Focus Bootcamp, where I show you the system that's helped me and others learn to thrive with their ADHD. Let me know, what do you think? Do you think the PARA method could be the ADHD lifesaver that we've all been waiting for? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you as always for watching, and with that guys, I will see you in the next video.